Good evening once again. We will continue on Article 13 of the Revised Penal Code, Article 13, the mitigating circumstances, and we will continue on uh, paragraph 6, passion and obfuscation, kaning na hagit-hagit juga. Now, the classic example of passion and obfuscation the is that kanang uh, wait. Now, the classic example of passion and obfuscation kanang acted upon an impulse so powerful as naturally to produce passion or obfuscation. Kanang jealousy, kanang pagsilos sa imong asawa. Now, asawa or bana. Now, if you acted on passion or obfuscation, you inflicted physical harm on a person because you have legitimate jealousy on your part on the other person, then you may invoke or the passion and obfuscation as provided for by law may be appreciated in your favor. You invoke that passion and obfuscation. Now, jealousy means pagsilos. Jealousy should be arise from legal basis. Legal basis. Because you cannot have that mitigating circumstance if your relationship with the person is also illicit or illegal. You may invoke passion or obfuscation when the basis of the relationship or the relationship is legal. Magsilos, sobrang silos, because kanang imong asawa or bana sige nagkuyog og lain, but you don't really know if they are committing a adulterous act. You just nagsilos ka to the point that you committed a crime of, say for example, serious physical injury or homicide. So that's passion and obfuscation, kanang build up sa imuha and then nagtulod sa imuha para mo commit of crime. But your intelligence, your freedom of will, and your thoughts are still present. You just being compelled. You own the impulse so powerful. So mao na wording sa law. And that's a classic example, jealousy. The mitigating circumstance may be appreciated in that case. Moving on to paragraph 7, the offender had voluntarily surrendered himself to person in authority. This is a voluntary surrender. After commission of a crime, you voluntarily surrender to a police station or person in authority, the barangay captain, mayor, vice mayor, governor. Kung asa ka mo surrender, pagka humani mo commit sa crime, that's mitigating circumstances. You can invoke that in trial. Or you plead guilty to the crime as charged. Kanang pagbasa sa kaso nimo, and then ning-angkon ka, you plead guilty to the crime. That could be appreciated as mitigating circumstance. Now, what happens? What happens if there are two or more mitigating circumstances? Like this in paragraph 7. This is voluntary surrender and plea of guilt to the charge. Now, if two or more mitigating circumstances are present in a single act, then the two mitigating circumstances will downgrade or will lower the imposable penalty to next level in degree. So, say for example, the penalty imposable is reclusion temporal. What is the period of reclusion temporal? That would be 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Then, what is the penalty next level in degree of reclusion temporal? That would be reclusion temporal prison mayor. Prison mayor has the periods of 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. Now, if there are two mitigating circumstances, then the imposable penalty may be imposed on next level and degree in reclusion temporal to arresto mayor. Yes. I'm sorry, it's a prison mayor. That's the next imposable or the next penalty in degree of reclusion temporal in the example given. That could be appreciated again in the example if there are two or more mitigating circumstances. The next level in degree will be imposed, or the next imposable penalty will be next level in degree. How about three mitigating circumstances? If there are three mitigating circumstances, you lower the imposable penalty to next level in degree, and then you apply it in the minimum period of the penalty provided by law. So na ay mo na makatabang sa mitigating circumstances in appreciating the imposable penalty and yes, in giving out the imposable penalty for the crime committed. Moving on to paragraph 8. Now this is self-explanatory. The offender is deaf and dumb, blind, or otherwise suffering from physical defect which restricts his means of action, defense, or communication with his fellow beings. Na siya PDT, or he is suffering from physical defect. Yes, this is self-explanatory. Yes, paragraph 8 speaks about physical defects which restricts his action, defense, or communication. So that's mitigating circumstance under the law. So moving on, paragraph 9. Illness which diminishes the exercise of willpower of the offender without, however, depriving him of his consciousness or of action. So illness kanang kasakit, nasa sakit which diminish his willpower. So yeah, some may ask, what if the offender has suffering from kleptomania, like this, that is a mental disorder that compels a person to steal? Or how about pyromania? That's the other mental disorder that compels a person to burn something. Now, I'm not sure if the correct term is pyromania, but yeah, that's, you will get it. The kleptomania and pyromania is a form of psychological disorder that is equivalent to insanity. When the offender committed the act of theft or the act of arson, they are not in the sane mind. So that's a disease that not only diminishes, but there is no intelligence anymore on their part to see what is to see the wrong or right result of their actions. That's kleptomania is, I believe, is an exempting circumstance as well as pyromania. The provisions of paragraph 9 states only diminish only as to the diminish or diminishing of exercise of willpower. So what can be cited as an example for this? Now the example for diminishing willpower, kanang dugay na kay nagtuto o kanang maligno or something like that, mga superstitious beliefs. Dugay na. So dugay na kung nagtuoan ng superstition, then they committed an act based on superstition. The act or their thinking may consider as diminishes their willpower. Now, going back to kleptomania, I'm going to correct myself. Kleptomania and pyromania may be considered only as mitigating circumstance. They cannot be considered as exempting because they are not completely insane. Not completely insane when they committed the crime of theft. In kleptomania, they are not considered insane when they burn something. In case of pyromania, but sufficient scientific evidence should be given so that they will be appreciated. They may be appreciated as mitigating circumstance. That is for paragraph number 9. And lastly, paragraph 10, analogous circumstances. So, as your activity for this lecture, I will require you to cite at least one analogous circumstances to the preceding paragraphs as we already discussed. Paragraph 1 to 9 give out one example of analogous circumstances or circumstance and comment your example in the comment section of this video. This will be considered as your essay activity for the final periods. And I will give out tips for the effort of researching for analogous circumstances. We will continue on aggravating, but I may not discuss one each paragraph because there are too many paragraphs. So we will just you will have just to read because some of these are just reading exercises, and you may understand by just reading the articles. So we will see you again next time. Be safe.